And we're live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the live stream on the Soft Red Podcast YouTube channel. My name is Dan Salas. I'm excited to bring you today's play-by-play coverage on this marquee matchup between Mesa High School Jackrabbits and the Pinnacle Pioneers, coming to you from Jackrabbit Stadium at Mesa High School. I'm joined tonight in the booth by National Championship coach David Cameron from Phoenix College. He'll be providing insight and analysis throughout our match. On the sidelines, the Mesa Jackrabbits are led by head coach, 30-year head coach T.J. Hagan, and the Pinnacle Pioneers are under the direction of Justin Hughes. Justin got the head coaching job in 2018. Two incredibly well-respected coaches continue to build strong, competitive programs. And we are kicked off. Coach Cameron, this is our second game of the week. Welcome to the show, to the podcast, to the live stream.
And we're still putting the live stream together. A lot of hiccups today, but we figured it out, and we actually got here on time.
Yep. You know, one of the little hiccups that we had, everyone, today is that the AIA 365 had the game set to start at 7 p.m., and when I got clarification from Coach T.J. Hagan at about 4:15 today, it definitely set us into a little bit of a tailspin. But again, I think it was due to, at the beginning of the season, Coach Hagan said it could have been due to a freshman game that they wanted to schedule between Pinnacle and Mesa High. I want to give you everybody today's starting lineups, starting with the visitors from Pinnacle. Number 12, Alex Gustas. Number 9, Jonathan Kuramuna. I hope I didn't say that too incorrectly. Number 8, Ivan Lopez. Number 2, Noah Marshman. Number 15, Jorge Medina. Number 7, Arnel Mejic. Number 11, Marco Milicic. In goal, Cole Miller. Number 6, Declan Reynolds. Number 4, Richie Viernu. And number 10, Caleb Yun. For the home team, Mesa Jackrabbits, in goal, 0, Max Perez. Number 2, Santiago Villamarin. Number 3, Adrian Ortiz. Number 9, Evan Romero. Here's a chance on goal. Number 10, Lionel Balderrama. Number 13, Juan Tito Perez. Number 15, Jose Barrios. Number 16, Alice Chango Montalvo. Number 22, Ethan Perez. Number 23, Yasir Ramirez. Number 24, Josue Garcia. And from talking to these two coaches prior to the match, Coach T.J. Hagan said, as every year, we just want to put the ball on the ground and play clean soccer. And I can't support that more. Coach Hagan. Coach Hagan has had a long-time, 10-year assistant coach, Beto Renteria. And both of them together have developed one of the strongest programs year in and year out for the past 30 years. And as I said, Coach Hughes took over in 2018 after Brock Kehop at Pinnacle High School, and Justin has done an incredible job, again, continuing to press on consistency, character, standards. No player is ever bigger than the team mentality. And again, that seems to be one of his main principles. He tells his players, here's a chance on goal. That'll be tonight's first corner kick for Mesa High. Looks like it'll be a quick corner kick here, a quick 2-on-1. Now, both of these teams just got done playing in the Coyote Classic, which coach over at, oh my gosh, it just escaped me. Campo Verde, sorry about that. Drew Guarini, who has been at Campo Verde, I think, since the beginning of time. Definitely since that school has opened, I believe Drew has been the only coach there. But again, Drew puts on a great tournament year in and year out. The Pinnacle Pioneers lost to Castile in the semis. 2-2, went to PKs, 5-4 in PKs. And then Mesa lost to Perry 2-1. And those teams seem to meet year in and year out, whether if it's in the first, second round of the state tournament, if it's in the Coyote Classic, it's probably once or twice on the regular schedule. But again, both teams looking to play in that tournament every year, figure out what's the characteristics of their teams, where to adjust. And it's a very well-organized tournament at Campo Verde, and I believe it's Williamsfield High School and Mesa High have all jumped in on hosting many of the games. And tonight, as Coach Cameron and I look on at the field, right off the bat, both coaches, and again, Coach Cameron, you've got a rich history of players coming from Mesa High. I talked to Justin Hughes prior to the game, and he said, hey, I've got a couple of Phoenix College hopefuls that, again, are hoping that while you're up here, possibly in the booth just doing some color for us, might be able to take notice of a couple players.
We've had players from Pinnacle, Mesa in particularly a lot. The last 3 years, we've had, I think, 6 or 7 Jackrabbits. They've done very, very well for us, 2 of which were on our national championship team, Easton Elzinga and Freddie Alvarez, 2 big-time players from Mesa, and they were a huge, huge problem for the opposition, as Easton was one of the top defenders in the country, and Freddie was scored a big goal in the national championship game that really ended the game.
Yeah, none bigger all season. I mean, throughout the year, as I called the games, I want to say, Freddie had maybe 8 goals, 9 goals throughout the season, and none bigger than that in the national championship. When he got that ball at midfield, Coach, and it was absolute magic for 30 yards.
And I wish the coverage was better there, because we were trying to get the film right away to send it to ESPN, because it would have been a top 10 play.
Yes.
Especially the circumstances of the match. But I apologize for the late start here. At least we made it on time.
Yes.
But if we're just figuring this out. This is our second live stream, and the great thing is the internet is wonderful here.
Thank you, Mesa High, for your wonderful internet. And I know Coach TJ Hagan and I have, we've been colleagues for the last at least 21, 22 years. I took over at Corona del Sol in 2004, and TJ had already been here, but he and I have had just a great amount of respect for each other. And, as soon as, the AIA schedules came out and you and I kind of planted the seed of this is what we wanted to do and cover high school soccer, give a high school soccer a voice, but an intelligent voice. Anybody can come up here and call a game. But I think, combined with your expertise in the game, along with, just 20 years of being over at Corona del Sol, Coach Hagan just said, anything you guys want to do here at Mesa High, you've got my blessing. And so I appreciate, along with the athletic department here, us coming in here and providing some analysis, some play-by-play. And so far, we've got an up and down match here.
Yeah, I see two different styles going on. It looks like Mesa has a slight injury on the field, and hopefully it's something he can walk off. But Pinnacle, they're attacking with their left and right back, trying to create overloads against Mesa's left and right back, create 2v1 situations, and we'll see how that pans out. But when
Here's
you do that,
right
you
here.
get countered quite a bit.
Yeah. You know, and again, I can speak to competing against Justin Hughes for the previous 4 or 5 years, at Corona, and the thing about it's just not Justin Hughes' teams, but it's almost like a Pinnacle mentality. It's a very blue collar, workman-like. Hey, let's be tough, let's be organized, and he demands that constantly, from his players. And talking to assistant coach Beto Renteria from Mesa prior to the game, he just implores his players, put the ball on the ground and play. None of this, direct Route 1 stuff, just bang and kick soccer. I mean, he and TJ really forced these players. And again, to your credit at Phoenix College with Easton and Freddie, this is kind of where they got their start in terms of a little bit of that pressure soccer, that high energy soccer, off to Phoenix College.
Well, the other thing Mesa provides is the competition with the crowd, and I don't think those that take a year off from high school realize the opportunities you can get here that you'll never get in club, which is the pressure of a crowd, pressure of your team, and the pressure of facing your fans after a game. You have to go to school and deal with that. That's real. And you're not going to get that in club. Club, you're with a bunch of different people on the team, and if you embarrass yourself and don't perform how you would like to in front of your own people, you have to face those people.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of pressure.
And again, is that something, when you're recruiting players for Phoenix College, talk a little bit about, that aspect alone. I mean, you might see a kid in playing over at, Arizona Sports Grounds or Reach 11, you go and you watch right now the MLS Next Fest is going on right now, and when you go watch a player there versus a player that is performing at the high school level, talk a little bit about maybe the difference maybe you see in the qualities of that player.
Well, I was out at the MLS Next event last week, and it's a lot. There's a lot of teams and a lot of representation from a lot of different areas. It's just different as far as the environment. There's something to do with, and I'm not saying every high school program is the best situation for you, but if you're a freshman and you're that good and you get a chance to play with players that are 3-4 years older than you,
what an opportunity.
You're not getting that in club.
No. Oh, he's going to get there. Just over the bar. Just over the bar. What an opportunity for the Pinnacle Pioneers. I believe that is number 9.
But
Jonathan Kuramuna. Go ahead.
Just to finish up, I believe in play as much as you can, but high school has to be a part of it. It has to. It just has things that you do not get in club, and high school has things that you don't get in club. They can work hand in hand, and it needs to be a better situation. Fortunately, the MLS Next event didn't count against the players this year, so that's improvement. That's some collaboration that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a second. I had a chance to again question both the coaches' programs before that. Here's another opportunity. What a great opportunity here. 2 great opportunities.
What do you have the rosters?
I do. And that is again go ahead.
Number 9.
Number 9.
What year is he?
He's a sophomore.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Doing a little recruiting as a new color.
Coach Hughes did say that, when I spoke to him this afternoon on the phone, and I said, what is some of the motivation or inspiration? He said, he had mentioned to the players that, you and I would be doing this game, and, that intrinsic motivation and want to impress the coach looking down, and not only you, but the Pima Community College, Glendale Community College, just that whole community college system here in Arizona. I believe it's called the Maricopa Schools, and you can clarify me on that. Again, what an opportunity for some players that just want to continue playing high-level soccer after high school, and from game to game that I called, for the most part, that's pretty competitive soccer. Until it's not.
And the other thing is, the importance of the Soft Red podcast is you're now giving these kids a ton of other looks, because the fact that I'm watching, that means David Cosgrove's going to watch.
Yes.
That means the Mesa Community College, Glendale Community College, all the colleges and beyond will be checking out these games, because we're very specific on the games we choose. And we don't want to see blowouts. We want to see two rivalry teams, or 2 high-level teams that are battling at it, that most likely will face in State Cup or some other tournament format. But this is what we like seeing, and it's good soccer. For 2 high school teams, soccer's changed over time. Obviously, 20 years ago might have not been this organized.
Yeah,
but these 2 teams are very organized. Now, do they know where the state championships are going to be held?
You know what?
Is Mesa hosting again?
We'll find out for you for sure. And I know the last 2, I believe, have been here. The last 2, and I've had an opportunity with the AIA 365 and the NFHS Network, along with Chris Harris, to call all of those games. And I think, again, this was a wonderful venue last year in terms of another opportunity.
Yeah,
he continues to be a problem up top for Mesa.
And only a sophomore. And if it wasn't for the Mesa defender putting a little push on his back when he was in the air, he would have been inside the box comfortably with the ball. So great defending if you don't get caught.
Yeah, we saw some smart defending on Monday afternoon at Hamilton High School, where Brophy beat Hamilton Huskies 3-1, and there was an instance in which it was a clear breakaway, and Brophy central defender pulled down the Hamilton forward, but luckily a defender was close enough, and he only got a yellow card. But again, going back to your point about Mesa and this rich tradition and history of Mesa High School, it was a great venue last year because the stands were packed. It was a Washington versus Desert Vista Open final that went down to PKs, with Desert Vista coming out victorious over a senior heavy Washington High School side. I believe it was a Desert Ridge team that won the 6A state championship. Before that, it was the Xavier girls and Barb winning her 148th state championship. And no, I'm just kidding. At Xavier, she is an example of championships in girls soccer here in Arizona. Incredible. And I believe it was the Desert Vista girls that won the 6A state championship under Jack Sauter. And I think Jack has left the high school coaching for greener pastures. Here's an opportunity again. Mesa keeping a high line when they go up. If they are not careful, sophomore Jonathan Coromona will make them pay.
And I don't see number 9, Evan Romero, out there anymore for the Jackrabbits. I think he was limping earlier, and I missed if he was subbed out. But I believe he's the one with that left foot.
Yes. So, yeah. And
oh
my gosh, what an opportunity for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah.
And a penalty kick is called.
That was a great ball served in, and Santiago of the Jackrabbits had a great redirection with his head that went off the crossbar, which ultimately led to this penalty kick.
Yes.
And it looks like Calvin Ventura is going to be taking the penalty kick.
Yep.
And another lefty. At least
you guys have the clock? You have to stop it for a penalty. There we go. We're up here at the booth in Mesa, just helping everybody out. It's a team. It's a team broadcast up here, and just over the goal.
And typically the referee should do the job of putting his hands across and winding his arm to let us know where the clock's going to be. We'll message downstairs to see if he can help us out on that.
That's right. Is it Mr. David Klecka, the athletic director here? We're going to have to – we'll send him a phone call. No, I'm just kidding. Coach, Mr. David Klecka. What a great guy that is. You know, another point that, you know, both coaches wanted to make was, and again, going back to our conversation of club versus high school, and I think that is just the tug of war so many are faced with, each coach is faced with. And this year was a unique experience in which the AIA had to make a ruling that if the players were to participate in last week, I believe it's a 2-week tournament, 15, 16 days in a row, the MLS Next Fest, they call it, where the AIA had to allow high school players the opportunity to go play even though the season had already started. Now, in previous years, the players that chose to play in the shot on goal again by Santiago of Mesa, the players that chose to play just MLX were now deemed ineligible throughout the entire high school season. But in partnership, the MLS Next, along with USA Soccer, because ODP would never impede a player's eligibility, they were given the opportunity to play in the MLS Next Fest. Talking to Coach Justin Hughes, the MLS Next Fest posed another kind of problem in which Mesa and Pinnacle were both playing in the Coyote Classic in conjunction at the same time as the MLS Next Fest. And Coach Hughes said, listen, you're going to choose one or the other. So Coach Hughes went into the Coyote Classic, you know, with about 6 less players on his roster. And so, again, not having practice with club, but not your high school, again, was a difficult conflict. And again, with that ruling coming out just before tryouts was so difficult. So, and they went into the Coyote Classic, 11 players unavailable for the semifinal, even though, again, they were on his roster. So, again, I talked to both TJ Hagan and Beto Renteria before the game, and again, that's been a conflict every single year. And so I'm glad for the players to have that opportunity to play in both. But again, I have empathy for the coaches wanting to develop and kind of start, their standards, but a third of your team is gone. About set to check in for the match is number 9. Again, to what you're just saying, Evan Ramiro back into the game, it looks like, Coach.
This game's going to be determined, in my opinion, between the 2 9s. The 9 of Pinnacle and the 9 of the Jackrabbits. And I've seen Evan play a lot last year, and he has a gifted left foot. And I believe he's a kicker, too. So he has options to play college ball and football. Hopefully he chooses soccer.
Yeah, we got our crack staff here that just said he hit a 52-yard field goal this year. So
probably with ease. I've seen him kick it. Like he hits the ball harder than
most,
I think, anyone of last year.
Yeah. That's such a weapon at the high school level, and I mean it could be a little bit lessened at the next level, but at the high school level with time and space and a little lack of high quality, goalkeeping. That's
he was on.
Yeah.
That was a good job by the AR. It was a great time run, great time pass.
Yeah, and speaking of the referees, I'd like to give them credit. You got head center referee Jason Ulrich tonight, and the 2 ARs, Jeffrey Coe and Jack Skransky, are our officials.
And just a few moments ago, Chino Ortiz, midfielder, had an unbelievable turn, losing his defender.
Yeah, and right now back on for the Mesa Jackrabbits is number 9, Evan Ramiro, which you just alluded to is gonna seem to make a difference here, hopefully. One of the characteristics I've always admired from the Jackrabbits is their willingness to play with their bodies when they play. It's like they all have that innate ability to fight in close quarters for the ball, but like to use their body, they use their legs, they use their body in that kind of close quarter battling for the ball. And not too many youth players have that skill as a developed skill. That's so critical at the next level.
I think it's a lot of that is developed by those that play a lot of soccer and pick up soccer and you can't. There's not drills for that. I mean, coaches only can do so much, but experience is everything. And a lot of the top players I've had at Phoenix College that were able to position themselves in such a way that they're protecting themselves and the ball were guys that were playing constantly with adult league, 6v6, pickup soccer, all that.
I was just going to say that.
The game is definitely the best teacher when it comes to that.
We used to make the joke with my assistant, Brett Havens, over at Corona, where we would say, that kid's been playing against his uncle since he's been 4. And his uncle's an adult.
It's true. There's a player at GCU named Martin Luwala, and one of the best players in Arizona. No one knew about because he played adult league since 8th grade for Congo FC, just an African team.
Is he the leading scorer this past year?
No, that's Diouf.
Okay.
Another African, but he's from, I think, New Jersey. But Martin went to Washington High School and just played pretty much adult league. He played on a bunch of teams because people would just invite him, but he was never like on a specific club team other than Congo FC, which is a very organized team.
Here's another break for Pinnacle. Again, as you said, here's an opportunity. Oh, he just couldn't get that final pass into space. And as Mesa continues to creep up the field and press into that attacking space, they're going to leave some space in behind here. And if that forward, number 9, can get through, and Coach, again, I'm going to make this point, and I know you may have noticed it as we get today's first yellow card of the match, given to number 14, Chino Ortiz. But the point I wanted to make again is we just had an opportunity there for 2 defenders to play the ball back to their goalkeeper, and the importance of a goalkeeper's ability to play with their feet. We had that in Brophy against Hamilton's match, where Brophy's goalkeeper did an incredible job throughout the match, having confidence and then building out of the back. But again, there was an instance where both center back and outside back had an opportunity to play the ball to their goalkeeper and chose not to, and it kind of made a messy situation. It could have been clean.
And I know when I was coaching at Millennium, it was such a struggle for us to have goalkeepers, and we were like convincing volleyball players and basketball players that got cut or didn't want to play that sport anymore to come play for us. And it is a real struggle in high school. That's just one position. If you have a couple good goalkeepers, you are truly blessed, because they're hard to find, especially in high school, since you're confined to your area as far as who's playing at your school.
Yeah. And to that, as we come up with a set play here, taken by Noah Marshman. Here's an opportunity on goal. What a save! What a save by goalkeeper Max Perez. Point blank. Coach, my high school team of 2009 did not win a state championship. We were upset that year in the first round of the playoffs as the number 1 seed to the number 16 seed. But as a roster, there's a ball driven to the back post, just missed by Pinnacle. It was by far the most talented roster I'd ever coached, and we had such a problem that I had 2 Division I goalkeepers on my team that year in 2009. A gentleman by the name of Patrick Prey, who eventually signed with Washington and eventually ended up playing at Brown University. And then I had my starting goalkeeper, a kid by the name of Matt Bersano, that played 3 years at Oregon State, 1 year at Penn State, and then eventually 12 years in the MLS. Those were my 2 goalkeepers.
And don't forget, Matt's supposed to call me.
That's right.
Can you hurry up and connect that? Because I have a bunch of players that are like doing mid-year transfer.
Okay.
Text him right now. Get him on the podcast. We'll do it live.
We're gonna get a recruiting call live on the podcast here.
Yeah. Let's find out what they need. There's that left foot. Evan swung away from the 25-yard line of football, so that would be 35 yards out. And I wouldn't let him shoot anywhere.
I'm actually texting Matt right now, everyone. So I'm just so I don't forget. And if this wouldn't it be something if you actually said, Salas, go ahead, put me through.
Probably breaking some NCAA rule.
Who knows, right?
Did you hear about Utah being bought out?
Utah
University, U of U?
No.
Sold for $500 million.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible.
NIL is
That's
incredible.
Going,
I know. I just heard about that. I haven't read about it, but I heard about it. And those watching, you can comment, put the article in the chat, and then I can read about it.
That's it.
But yeah, so it's basically a private entity purchased the entire athletic program, and they're going to work in partnership with the school, and the school will get a percentage of their earnings, but they're going to be managing it, and that'll be the first school of many.
Oh my gosh. Here's an opportunity. Nice ball served in. Just couldn't get connect on the end of that.
And you need those players that can change the game and catch you sleeping with instead of those typical line drive through balls. It's nice to see that change.
There it is. There's another one.
I believe number 8, Ivan Lopez, was one that made that creative chip pass through the middle.
Yeah,
which was nice to see.
And again, you're seeing sophomore Jonathan Kay continue to affect the game on a positive level. In the first 10 to 15 minutes here, he was seeing ball after ball over the top and through onto goal, and just then delivering a nice little feathered pass into the box for a dangerous ball and an opportunity here. And the second corner kick for the Pinnacle Pioneers. There's another great save. Max Perez has kept his team clean so far today with his second point-blank save. You know, I talked to Coach Hagan before the game, and he says, again, he's a young goalkeeper, just a junior in goal. The team is young, and he's a young goalkeeper. Another break for Mesa here. Solid defending. Corner kick coming up here for the Mesa Jackrabbits. We are just under 5 minutes here in the first half at 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And again, corner kick taken by that left-footed Evan Romero. See if he can whip this in with some pace. Got a little theatrics going on here. Couple of players just saying, what are you doing after the game? Maybe we can hit up Portillo's.
I'm not sure about the last corner kick, but it looked like they were setting picks, and there was a player wrapping around there trying to
for that low service.
Low service in between the 6-yard box and the penalty mark, and it wasn't too far off.
You know, if I could, again, make the point, and I go right at the beginning of the broadcast, Coach Cameron, you had mentioned it. You know, this is just our second live stream, and if anybody is listening, one of the purpose or the objectives for doing all of this is to, whether if it's myself, if it's Coach Cameron, we've got a couple of scheduled guests. Here's an opportunity, another shot on goal, a goal kick for the Pioneers. But to give exposure, a positive exposure, a voice to the coaches, to the programs, to the players, and follow that up with connecting whether if it's this week or the next, on a real podcast in the Phoenix College podcast studio that Coach Cameron has, and connecting the dots between what's going on the field, what's going on off the field. Again, highlighting some of the positive aspects of stories and the kids' stories. Just to give exposure that maybe is not always given here in high school soccer, Arizona soccer. And so, throughout the season, I know myself, Coach Cameron, we're going to continue to provide. Here's an opportunity for Pinnacle to, again, day after day, to give the story, the background, some context to some of these really, really good, positive programs here in Arizona high school soccer, and two of them here tonight in Pinnacle and Mesa High.
It's the value of high school sports. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't realize the value of it. Because when I was playing high school at Shadow Mountain High School, I was heavily considering not playing high school for a year and playing club only because I was constantly being
got an injury on the field here.
Talked to by my club where I played for Cisco back in the day. And they're constantly like, no, just stay with club, stay focused. It wasn't really a battle. Well, you couldn't do both at the same time. So they just wanted to train. There really wasn't tournaments or anything. And they had me to the point where I did quit, but I came back realizing maybe not, because I wanted to have that experience. But I was constantly had someone in my ear, and that's not a good thing. It's something about being on a team trying to get that one trophy.
Yes. And
that doesn't exist anymore. When I grew up playing, we were trying to get a state championship. That's gone. We have state cup, but there are too many teams are like, oh, we're not playing that tournament. That's beneath us. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, if you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you're competing for a real trophy, you're not evolving as an athlete. You have to play for real championships, not because someone put a tournament together and you had to go to San Diego or Washington, D.C. or wherever and bankrupt your family to go win a tournament. It's here.
It's here.
And it's inexpensive.
Yeah. And again, the value, I think, in the relationships that you build, I think the value in the qualities that you learn about yourself is so much more valuable than showing up at Reach 11 at 8 a.m. to play a game with your buddies. And yeah, again, it's great that the competition is good, but in the end,
it's not real. It's not real because I was here a year ago when Desert Vista was playing Washington High School in the state championship for the. They have tiered ones, but the
open.
The open.
The open. Yeah, the open.
And there wasn't one seat available on this side.
Correct.
That's different. That's a different kind of pressure. You can't recreate that. You have to earn that, and it's earned here. Mm-hmm. You got to play in front of crowds. Everyone's like, oh, I want to play D1. I want to go pro. Or what? Okay. Can you play in front of 4,000 people?
Yeah.
And you found out some can't. But at least they got the experience and know how to deal with it when it happens again, if it happens again. But you're not getting that in club.
As we come up to the end of the first half, we've got 1 minute and 24 seconds left. It's a 0-0 score between the home team, Mesa Jackrabbits, and the visitors, Pinnacle Pioneers.
And I want to clarify, I'm not attacking club. There's soccer needs to be played. My kids play club. Your kids play club. But it both needs to exist.
And it definitely can. We're just under a minute. Another great opportunity for the Pioneers. Shot on goal by number 15, Jorge Medina of the Pioneers. You know what I really liked about Jorge, he started off that entire play with a nice cheeky little back heel. It takes skill to not only pull that off, but to see it before it even happens, number one. And number two, to follow up with it. There's an opportunity with about 10 seconds left in the half. What can they do with it? And that's halftime here, 0-0, Mesa and Pinnacle. We're going to step aside for about 10 minutes, enjoy some of the content Coach David Cameron provides on the stream, and we'll be back.
That's pretty funny. You know, just pinholes the culture. Pinholes the culture day in and day out, you know, talking down to the coaching staff, or, oh, you know, Coach Salas doesn't like me. You know, he plays favorites. Yeah, I do. You're right.
My favorites are the best players. No,
That's right.
kidding.
Yeah, right. No, you know, I do play favorites. The kids that show up on time, that play, that compete. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Adhere to rules. Wow. We have a question. So this is Gary Funk. Gary Funk says this: the only thing that matters in club soccer is showcase and invite ID camps. Nothing elite matters because of the end of the day. It's about exposure these days with NWSL scouting at showcase. So
the showcases. I saw one just recently, and again, not to completely rip on club soccer, but they had a showcase that was college. You ready for this?
Yes.
And junior.
Wait, what?
It said junior. It was a junior show. What? I don't know.
A junior showcase?
A junior showcase.
So
what do we showcase?
So junior colleges come?
There was U6 showcase.
Yeah. So
right.
I was at.
If they're old enough to wear shin guards, they can be recruited.
I was at the RSL ID camp.
Mm-hmm.
So they're brilliant. So they did an RSL tournament.
Right.
So these kids are playing 4 games on a weekend, and then they could pay an extra $100 to be part of their ID camp. They got 200 players.
Stop it.
200 from the tournament.
Stop it.
To go there. Now it was organized very brilliantly. They had all these coaches from all over these universities, some junior colleges and stuff, and they rotated them to be coached by these coaches as if they were being seen. And they're not seeing anything. I went to show my face, to look at play, and you can't see anything. I'm like, what am I looking at? They're doing a drill, but the amount
how many fields?
It was at Reach 11. It was 1, 2, 3. They had like 6 fields going.
Okay, fair.
And it was very organized, great looking camp. I don't know if anyone got better, but they got exposure to what it would be if they're paying to get a reality check of like, or getting experience of what a university training session would be, which is kind of what your club coach would do because they're all A licensed. I guess that's great, but that was a lot of money. They killed. I'm like 200 times 100. That's 20,000. I'm like, wow, smart. That's smart. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna do a 3v3 tournament, and then I'm gonna do a college showcase for an extra $10. I don't know. It's crazy the amount of money that's spent.
The marketing. I think there's a marketing genius that goes into the club soccer, and like I said, I think what I realized, you know, with my son who plays U10 club soccer, is that this is his first year doing club soccer. We waited as long as we could, but it's like it's like the mafia of one club says, hey, I'll run a tournament if you get into my tournament, and I'll get a tournament if you run it. And so you're playing the same teams at every tournament, but yet you've got 4 tournaments.
It's
and then you're at this legacy place out in Mesa where you're paying $6 a pop just to watch your kid play soccer every time you walk through the gates.
Oh.
What are we doing?
And the cost to just get there from Avondale, where I'm coming from. But yeah, it's interesting. They're always packaging something together to say, hey, we're gonna showcase you to play at the next level. You're gonna get all the. I had a coach, I kid you not, a friend of mine. He said, hey, how come you don't move my son Jack, who's a high level player? Why don't you take him from Excel and move him to another club where he'll get more exposure so he can get more university looks? I'm like, no. So you want me to pay a lot more money to be seen and get looks by other university coaches to offer him a spot so he can pay even more money to go? And I'm like, my son is going to play at Phoenix College or the Air Force. It's going to be free. I'm not paying anything. I'm like, you'll get enough at Phoenix College, but to pay money to go on Instagram and basically say,
Hashtag blessed.
My son got recruited by these universities. I mean, everyone will pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to just post on Instagram, my son is signed with whatever. Okay.
It doesn't.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Doesn't bring happiness. I'm like,
and I think one of the funniest things is I've always said to the kids that actually go on to play college from Corona is like that's nice, but do you realize how hard it gets from now? Do you realize the next step? Because now again, and I you being a college coach, if your program stunk, how long would Phoenix College keep you? Not very long, especially if you're at one of these other schools where, these whether it be NAIA to Division One, like you can't be a stinker. And so that coach is recruiting you, and you're vital for keeping his family in that house, making sure that his kids don't have to change schools next year because dad got fired. And you think it's pressure now.
oh, yeah. And fortunately for me, it's not as cutthroat as it would be. It's a Division I school, but yeah, are these coaches really gonna be like helping you out, or are they gonna help himself or herself and their family? They're gonna choose their family over
every day.
Yeah. So
every day
you're not gonna get the benefit of doubt over there. So in your experience, what are some of the most common mistakes that high school soccer players make, and how can they be avoided?
Oh boy, good question, Coach. I think common mistakes that they make is pigeonholing themselves into a position, pigeonholing themselves into, and I just experienced it quite a bit this year, and that is pigeonholing their mentality into, I've had the same club coach, or I've been in the same club for 5 years, and they say, well, I played a really good club team, coach, and this is how we play. We should do this in high school. Well, that's great, but we're not your club, right? And there's so many more dynamics that you're not considering that go into the coach's day in and day out decision. And so that's great that you can play that way, that style, that formation, that's another whole topic. But we get to a point where kids, they make the mistake of not staying open-minded to so much more that they can learn. The game is so vast. And it's grown so much. Again, we talk about technology, Dave. You and I grew up where maybe we had VHS tapes of like Golay,
Can you explain VHS tapes? Because I don't think anyone knows what that is.
We grew up where it was like, man, let me borrow that cassette, and you watched it over and over again. It was like the story of the 1982 World Cup, and that was like what we watched, and because there wasn't a lot of soccer on. But nowadays, it's like the ability for these kids to have the imagination, the ability for these kids to just, I want to see something, and the technology that TV uses to explain the tactics, and it's incredible. But what I think that these kids don't do enough, watch soccer, number one, pigeonhole themselves into a position, like this is my position. And then number three is not keeping an open mind to how many other thoughts, ideas, ways you can play this game.
Yeah,
You know?
and a lot of it has to be about being technical of the game and truly loving the game, wanting the ball. A lot of kids don't like to have the ball. They rather run on a big field versus have the ball to be able to solve problems. But that's a whole other thing. But you're right. Be open to the game because everyone's going to look at Ryan Flood, top goal scorer from Corona.
Yeah.
Killing it, scoring 30-plus goals a year or whatever
Right.
it was. And now he's a right back. And now he's center mid. But he was technical.
Oh, yeah. And again, like I brought into this past year at Corona, I we didn't experience success for, I mean, it's been a while since Flood's team, 2020, the class of 2020 was great. It was one of the most enjoyable group of kids I've coached. And then it's kind of been sprinkled in talent here and there since then. But the one thing I truly tried to drop on the kids this year was, they were so hell bent on how many are you going to play in the back this year? How many are you going to play in the front this year? And then again, the whole idea of, the matter in which you play and how you play is more important than any formation. And you say, well, how do you guys like to defend? Where's the ball? Who's their best player? So there's so many things that go into that, but kids will think, oh, if we're playing 4 in the back, it's better. Oh, if we play 3 in the back. How about you just understand the principles of the game first, and then it doesn't matter where's the ball.
The game is fluid, and I know exactly what you're talking about. With I get that question all the time. I'm like, I don't know. All I know is the best players find a way.
Always.
So you just got to problem solve. You'll find a way if you're thinking about the game. It's like, do you have the ball? If you have the ball, can you score? Can't score? Can you get someone that can score? If you can't do that, can you just pass it to?
Welcome back, everyone. We are live streaming from Mesa High School. Today's match versus Mesa and the Pinnacle Pioneers. This is along with myself, my name is Dan Salas, and we are trying to pull off a Soft Red podcast on the Soft Red Podcast channel with my partner, national championship coach David Cameron from Phoenix College. Thank you for tuning in, listening in. We've got a 0-0 tie. Second half about to start. So far, Coach Cameron, how would you summarize the first half?
It was more of a filling out period. Opportunities were happened a lot in the attacking third for Pinnacle. Mesa had a penalty kick. It could easily be 1-1, 2-2. It just happens to be 0-0 right now. And that's why goal scorers always make the most money, because they really decide everything.
Yeah, and you made the point that the number 9s were going to decide this game, and so far it's been Pinnacle's sophomore, jersey number 9, Jonathan Kuramuna, and number 9 for Mesa High School, Ivan Romero.
Evan Romero. Evan Romero was limited on time. He had a little tweak and had to come off for a little bit. But we know his capabilities are, and it's good to see him starting the second half. So hopefully he's healthy and he's good to go. And like we were saying in the first half, the Soft Red podcast is
What a great little ball over the top here. Just couldn't wrap his foot around that. Go ahead, Coach.
It's just in its beginning stages, and it's only the second one. There's a lot of little things that need to be fixed on really getting over the YouTube rules of starting a YouTube channel, and that's why it's on my channel. But we do upload the next day to the Soft Red podcast. But I'm excited. I'm excited for where this will take you. And
you too.
well, unfortunately, it's taken me a lot of places that maybe I don't want to be, but I'll be here.
If anybody doesn't know Coach Cameron, he's got such a unique sense of humor. I haven't quite figured it out yet, everyone. I know he's funny, but it's not in the area of dry, but it's not in the area of out in the open. And
it gets me in a lot of trouble. It's not my intention.
I enjoy it. I think my colorful nature sometimes twists a couple of screws up in your brain, and you're like, whoa, that guy's saying some stuff.
We are the modern day odd couple.
That's right. I appreciate it, yes.
And I guarantee a lot of our young viewers have no clue what the odd couple is. It was a popular TV show.
Well, you know what's funny is that Coach Brent Havens, my longtime assistant at Corona, the shot on goal again at Corona today, said that he left the conversation and said, I hope you two savants enjoy the game tonight. And I said, I don't know about me, but I'm definitely not a savant. And I think both you and I have enough crazy in our brains. Here's an opportunity here for Evan. It's a strong tackle.
Yeah, you can tell Evan's he's trying to manage his output to not overextend himself, especially with his, I believe it's his ankle that's a little bit tender for him. And we've been, at Phoenix College, we've been recruiting Evan for over a year now.
Fantastic.
Just watching him play, letting him know that, we like what he does, and he'll benefit any program, but I'm sure he has a bright career in football if he chooses to do that.
Yeah, I think, he's definitely got like either a lower leg injury or maybe a calf issue going on because he's continuing to stretch as he's playing in those open moments.
Well, what it could be is like when you have an injury on one side, it compromises the other side because you're running differently. You're trying to avoid certain things to make sure you don't aggravate the injury.
Yeah, there's a dodgy little play right there. Goalkeeper tried to play that ball out of bounds, and the Pinnacle player stepped in front of it. Again, it all started with a kind of a questionable back pass to the goalkeeper, and he just couldn't handle the first touch, and then it just kind of allowed him to give a bit of a clearance ball.
I'm just curious how long TJ will keep their star forward in the game, knowing it's early in the season and you got to manage your health so you can have success the entire year. So
yeah. Again, another dynamic leading scorer for the Jackrabbits is number 2, Santiago Villamarin. There's a slippery little challenge right there, let's call it.
Yeah, it seemed like the Pinnacle player's entire body went into Adrian Ortiz's sternum, and he was fine.
And some of the most common injuries in this turf, this field turf that the players are currently playing on, is just that sometimes body parts stick. You don't get the natural slide of natural grass. And so that's immediately when I saw that challenge, I was like, whoa, someone looks like they stuck in the turf a little bit there. Wow. What a touch. The foul here.
And I'm not sure what happened. I missed that.
It was a foul on number 3. Is that number 3 or number 2? I believe it's 3 on Pinnacle, which is.
But number 7 got the yellow.
It is number 7. Okay. So it's number 7, Arnell Mehique.
And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think the official and me caught the reaction.
Correct.
And it was good for the official to deal with that right away.
Yeah, and that was
and maybe 2 people should have got yellow, but he only saw the reaction. But you couldn't do a verbal there. You have to deal with that so we can get them to the sideline, have their coach manage his team so it doesn't escalate.
And that was number 24, Josue Garcia. That was on the initial ball. And here's Evan Ramiro on top of it for the Jackrabbits. That's again center referee Jason Ulrich policing that situation.
And Evan keeps constantly stretching.
Yeah, I noticed that too, Coach. Oof. In that opportunity there, I would have liked Evan to maybe hit the target a little bit more, or serve that dangerous whip into that 6-yard box, and maybe again that injury's.
He's definitely compromised. It's changing a lot of things. And now he's just trying to be it looks like just the distributor.
Yeah, a little bit of a facilitator.
Yeah. Now, Evan can hit it from here. I just don't know if he's capable with.
If it's his plant foot or if it's his striking foot, right?
Either or. It's one of them. So if he wasn't compromised right now,
yeah,
I'd be like 5-man wall because he can hit it from there.
Right.
He wasn't he featured on ESPN top 10, top 5
for what? What did he do?
He scored a goal from that distance, and it was ripped. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can find it online. I can put it on the broadcast.
Here's an opportunity here. Here's a shot. My goodness.
And the wall did a great job because that was dipping and it was going to be a problem.
We've got a little conference here between the AR, Jeffrey Coe, and Jason Ulrich. It's a corner kick here.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew that came off. There's another two players on the ball here for Mesa, Santiago Villamarin. Again, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on there. Could have been off camera. Goal kick for the Pioneers. Where do we start from? It's like we get the ultimate reset. So what a shot. Bounce break. Jackrabbit throw-in. Top 10. Like a lot of people have said, great face for radio. It's not. Once again, everyone, my name is Dan Salas. Follow David Cameron from Phoenix College. This is our second soccer season to live stream the Soft Red Podcast. Right now, it's the Coach Soccer Podcast. We're here at Mesa High School. We are still 8 minutes left. 0-0. We've got two very, very storied Arizona soccer programs here, Pinnacle High School and Mesa High School. There's an opportunity here for the Jackrabbits. We've got a substitution into the match for the Jackrabbits. Number 22, Ethan Perez, back into the match.
And what I'll do is that the next stoppage, I'm going to throw on one of Evan Romero's goals that he scored, which I don't know if this one was the one on ESPN, but I can't show ESPN because it'll shut us down. But this is a different one. So for those tuning in, we will show you a clip. And we're just trying to learn all this new technology we have to see how we can make this broadcast elevate throughout the season.
Yeah. A couple of different features we can add. As we are still at 0-0, Mesa High School against Pinnacle Pioneers. Again, both these teams come into the match after playing in I would say, semi-successful Coyote Classic at Campo Verde, directed by Drew Guarini. I think this is probably the 10th to 12th year Drew has put on this tournament.
Oh, we're in tournament play?
Not yet. The Coyote Classic.
Right.
Yeah, we are not in tournament play right now.
No,
This
I meant
is
we're in
today.
this
is regular season.
This regular season.
This is a regular season.
Yeah, I was too busy trying to figure out the tech side here. The Coyote Classic, that was last week, correct?
Yeah, last week and the previous week. And Drew kind of covers it over about, I want to say eight days. So depending upon your first start of your schedule, Drew kind of he does everything he can to accommodate. You know, if you've got a game that's on, the Monday or Tuesday, and that's when his tournament actually starts, is right after Thanksgiving. And whoa, that's another dangerous tackle. But he does a great job of accommodating the coaches if you want to be involved. He's a mastermind behind scheduling.
Yeah, I've worked with Drew several times, and he's always been great inviting us out and allowing us to be an option for his tournament each year. Even though it was a long drive for us when I coached at Millennium. And now I'm retired, never going back.
Well, how many years? What year did you start at Millennium, Coach Cameron?
I coached there 10 years. So last year, so 2025 was my last year, so 2015.
Okay.
It's a lot of work, and Carmen Esnall's now the coach, and she's amazing. She's a teacher there. She has a lot of time to really be available, and that's what they needed.
There's an opportunity here, a left-footed shot. Can he get it across? Can't get it across.
But the intention was there. Ethan Perez, I liked how he had the mindset to look up, seeing one of his players were running on the backside, and he was trying to wrap the ball going across. He just didn't connect with the ball as good as he was hoping. But the intelligence was there. And I'm so impressed with number 9 of Pinnacle, how he checks space. His last opportunity to check for the ball, and he checked his space and noticed he had a teammate behind him, so he let the ball go and then spun to a space he could receive the ball. That's just, you can tell he's been
rare.
At
his age,
as a sophomore, correct, and he's a problem.
And again, we at the beginning of the stream, you and I spoke. You definitely spoke on, the uniqueness of the high school experience and how many players, like Jonathan, will take, 1 or 2 years at the high school level, and then I don't want to say be brainwashed, but given the message of high school is not going to get you to where you're at. But again, the best point I heard you make was the high school level, you're fighting for one trophy. You're fighting for the pinnacle of your state. You're fighting for and you're training for with inspiration, with purpose, those moments.
You belong to something. You live in an area code or a zip code that's yours.
I would say zip code.
Yeah, well, area code, I'm always 602, even though I'm 623. I claim 602. But, yeah, it's your community. You're representing your community. It's very similar to Europe. You're born into the team you're supposed to support. And I know this firsthand because when I was in Birmingham, England, and I was an Aston Villa supporter because that's where my in-laws were living at the time, and that's what they told me we had to support, so I supported it. And we were on the Birmingham side.
Here's a collision here.
Yeah, that was Adrian Ortiz.
Okay.
He did a great job attacking across. Got a good shot off. Got their team a corner kick and put them in position that they can be dangerous. But to finish off my point, well, not my point, but the story. I was on the Birmingham side across the freeway. We're in Aston Villa stuff, and we're in the mall, and this guy just took my hat and threw it. I'm like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
My father-in-law was like,
let it go.
let it go. Get out of here because you're about to get knifed, kind of thing. But, yeah, it was you got to be careful what you're wearing. It's just that kind of mentality over there. They're all about their team, and this is the closest thing we have.
Yeah. There's another corner kick for the Mesa Jackrabbits. And Mesa's been pushing a little bit more the second half. There's ball driven in again, dangerous. But it just seems like Mesa's missing that final delivery in the attacking third tonight.
Oh my word! Now that should be a card. I mean, that was a reckless challenge by number 2, Noah Marshman. But who got the yellow card in the first half? Pinnacle got a
yellow card just here in the first half.
Oh yeah.
That was Pinnacle in the first half. I'm sorry, in the second half here, and that was for Mesa. That was Mesa, and that was. I believe Chino Ortiz, number 14. It was here on the near sideline.
Yeah, there was a yellow card there. There was also a yellow card for Pinnacle, and I can't remember who got it.
The second half or first half? The second half here was.
I think Pinnacle only got 1 yellow.
Yeah, and that was number 7, Arnell Mahik.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious because if it was number 2, maybe that's why he didn't card him, but seemed to me it was pretty dangerous, but we're way up here.
I made that realization very, very soon after a couple of broadcasts with the AIA 365 is the perspective we have up here is so much clearer than that linear perspective we carry on the sideline, which is difficult at best sometimes.
It's way better up here. The center official should be up here with a mic with someone that's downstairs that can manage it, because you can see pretty much everything from here.
Yeah. Oh, there's a mistake that didn't cost anything there. No, and to be able to call the Phoenix College games and to get an appreciation of the spacing that goes on, the timing that goes on, and truly the level of movement off the ball was so elite. And I'm such a soccer dork. On Fridays for a long time, ESPN covered 10 to 15 Division I NCAA games. And so I would go and, whatever my personal plans were Friday night, I'd watch a half or two of multiple games. And throughout, it looks like the defender hurt himself on that challenge, and that's number 2, Noah Marshman. We're going to have a clock stopped here for an injury. But again, to finish my story, I thought it was so educational to watch the movement of players from the perspective of up in the booth, and then to understand it was really, really, really positive.
Well, I remember you were at a Division I game and you text me saying, "You guys could beat these teams." And I'm like, "I know," and we have. And, I mean, Phoenix College has an amazing history of taking on Division I teams. We beat UNLV at UNLV 1-0. We went and played Cal State Fullerton, tied them 1-1.
Where did you play Cal State Fullerton?
In their stadium.
You went to Cal State Fullerton?
Yeah, because we couldn't get any games here.
Right.
So that was a year we couldn't get a game against the Rising and GCU, and I didn't want to play the local teams I already play.
Right.
And we had talent, and I wanted to showcase it, which helped because a lot of those guys went on and played in all over the place, from Gonzaga, Cal Baptist.
Yeah. Well, George Coons is his name at Cal State Fullerton.
Mm-hmm.
He's a local Tempe guy.
I love him. He's a great Arizona ambassador. He always looks at the Arizona kids. He's always recruiting them. And he's had a lot of success with Arizona kids when he was at Irvine before he went to Fullerton.
Yes.
He's had
it was
three of my guys played for him at Fullerton.
Brad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was a Mesa. He was a Mountain Point player. Brad Evans.
Yeah.
Spencer Thompson were at Irvine when he was there, and then he had oh my gosh, I'm dating myself now. A 2007 graduate, David Lutz, was a Corona kid. Went to play for George Coons at Fullerton. So you've had the opportunity to play against multiple Division I players. I'm sorry, Division I programs while at Phoenix, and those are big takeaways after that.
It's hard to get those games, and we've played GCU I think now 6 times. When Shellis was there, Shellis was nice enough to play us twice. George Kiefer's squad before George left to UCF, or he went to Florida in Tampa. UCF. And
USF is in
USF,
Tampa.
that's right.
Yes, South Florida's in Tampa.
Yeah. And they played us. We played them twice. First game we played them his first year, and they put a pretty good beating on us. We lost 5-0, but it was a rebuild year. And then just this last spring, we beat them 4-3 in a community game at CCV, which was cool because there's like 1,500 people there.
Wow. What is CCV?
Church Christ of the Valley.
Correct.
So that was a cool experience, and it's good to at least show a lot of families and players that, maybe they're not getting the offers for Division I, mainly because of the transfer portal, that junior college is not too far removed from giving the opportunity they want and play at a high level. And one of our biggest games was against University of Washington when they're number 2 in the country.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was a big game, and we had a lot of people there. We hosted it. They were here for spring ball in Tucson, and was nice enough that some game didn't work out, and they played us.
Yeah,
and beat us 4-0. But what a cool experience!
Yeah.
And they're in the Final Four right now.
Yes, they are. And you played them when? Was it last spring?
2000? No, I wish. 2022.
I don't think it would have been 4-0 last spring, Coach.
No,
not with this team.
2022 spring.
Okay.
And we also played Toronto FC of the USL. So it's the Toronto FC 2 that same spring.
There's a foul given. The referee decided he's going to take it back to where the initial foul occurred, allowed a little bit of advantage to go and pulled it back. And here's an opportunity here. And Pinnacle hasn't had a real strong opportunity for the last, I would say, 10 to 12 minutes of through the run of play. And we're sitting just under 13 minutes in regulation, still 0-0. There's a ball driven to the back post, just over the crossbar. That'll go for a Mesa goal kick. I'm sorry.
So what are the rules in this game? If it's 0-0, do they play overtime?
Yes, I believe it is
2 10-minute?
2 10s.
But no golden goal?
No golden goal.
That's so silly. Should be golden goal.
It should be.
I never know. I don't keep up with the rules enough to know if they changed them or not. I know it's in junior college, well, NCAA as well, it just ends in a tie now.
Because there's so many, they don't want to go to it, yeah. You know, one
flights
of
and stuff.
I graduated high school back in 1993, just outside Chicago, in a town called Villa Park. I graduated from a high school, Willowbrook High School. And my senior year, the IHSA, which is the governing body of athletics in Illinois, decided it would be a good idea to go straight to PKs at a tie. And we went right to PKs, and the goalkeeper was allowed to move. They made that. There's an opportunity here, a breakout. Another solid piece of defending from Pinnacle. Leads to an offsides, but it was the wildest thing I'd experienced in soccer up until that point, where the game was over and it went straight to PKs, but as soon as the referee blew the whistle, the goalkeeper could approach you as the kicker or slide or move to any position they wanted to. And so it was to your advantage to be a step or two away from the ball, strike it immediately, and that was it.
How many penalty kick situations were you in?
I believe my senior year was 2 or 3. Buried them all. I took them lefty.
And you're a righty?
And I'm a righty, yeah. There were too many kids I grew up playing with that knew I was righty, and it would just like they knew of me a little bit too well, I think, and were like, all right. So just to throw the goalkeeper off a little bit. And I had sprained my ankle real bad my senior year, so my left ankle wasn't great to be able to plant on and take a right-footed shot. So I just kind of used it as kind of a hockey stick.
Slapping it?
Yeah, just a slap shot of a penalty kick.
Oh, remind me, next time there's a stoppage, I want to throw that video in. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Here's an opportunity here for Pinnacle. And his touch dragged him. What a save again. His touch dragged him away from the goal, gave him a little bit of a disadvantage on the angle here. And that's number 14 for Pinnacle, down right now. And that's Robbie Carberg.
Well, let's throw that video in. Let's see how this works. So check out this video. This is Evan Romero, last year scoring a great goal. All right, see if it comes in. Oh, did I even get this right here? Let's see. I'm just doing the I didn't even capture it right.
It's amateur hour over here.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
Well, welcome to the madness. Well, we tried.
And again, we're gonna chalk this one up to, this is our second live stream. We are again trying to provide commentary, play-by-play, analysis, a little bit of a storyline, some back stories. But again, just to give enough coverage to this great Arizona sport, high school soccer. And I believe the next game that you and I will be covering, or hope to cover, is December 16th, Desert Vista at Perry High School. So that is 12-16 Desert Vista at Perry High School. So the next live stream presented by the Soft Red Podcast YouTube channel will be at Desert Vista at Perry, 7 p.m., December 16th. And that's Jeff Berg and Trent Elliott going up against each other. And that's our last 3 state champions. So you had Perry High School winning back-to-back state championships, and Jeff Berg, 2 state championships in a row. And then you had Trent Elliott last year beating Washington. So our last 3 state champions will be going up against each other. And I know when I brought this idea up to you, or you brought it up to me, you said, let's make sure we get some fine schools to go see. I think that's going to be another good one.
And as this grows, any of the viewers, if you guys have a goal or a goal of your favorite player, or your son or daughter that has an amazing goal in high school, send it over to us.
Yes.
And your email is what the soft
the Soft Red Podcast at Gmail, and it's also Instagram at the Soft Red Podcast.
Well, even tag the Soft Red Podcast on Instagram of a goal, and we'll introduce it into our live stream, and we'll show you. I have all 4 goals already cut up that I already had previously of when Phoenix College played Grand Canyon University. So we can just get used to the process of showing highlights. And, of course, the ones that scored were all high school players.
And to add to that, Coach, is, you and I plan to do, whether if it's a every 2-week podcast at your studio, and we could feature those goals. We could feature those stories that any of the viewers have any. Again, if you've got some thoughts, ideas, questions you want us to cover, I think I would be more than happy to look into any school, any player, any coach that we can, tell a story and bring some positive feedback to.
And showcase the talent and just create another platform that players can be identified, because, we'll have a lot of college coaches watching these broadcasts just because of the nature of who we already know of, already serving our community in the soccer world for, between the 2 of us, 40-plus years.
40-plus years.
We're in our retirement years. Man. Both of us are retired from high school soccer. I've been coaching high school soccer here with Shadow Mountain, Alfrea, Millennium since 1997. Wow. And you've been high school soccer for 20 years?
Longer.
Oh, my word.
I got my start back in 1997, DeKalb High School, with a gentleman by the name of Mark Castro. And I believe Mark Castro is with the Indy 11? Is that a soccer club?
Yeah.
Indy 11. Mark had also been with Indiana Wesleyan for about 15 years. He was the head coach at Indiana Wesleyan. But I met Mark, and he's the one that gave me my opportunity, and what a pass by Evan Romero. But he's the one that gave me my first start into coaching, my first taste of it. And as soon as I felt I got a chance in 1997 with the DeKalb Barbs. I knew I loved it. And then it was, oh my gosh, it was in 2001 at Plainfield Central High School in Plainfield, Illinois. Then to Plainfield South, then to Tempe, Arizona, Corona del Sol.
And now you're retired in the booth with me.
I love this. And again, anybody that's listening, I'm doing my best to provide you with content, with a voice, and I absolutely love sitting at soccer games, talking with Coach Cameron, anybody that wants to listen. So many voices in my head. We are just under 3 minutes left in regulation here, and we will have two 10-minute overtime periods.
No matter what.
No matter what.
And I wonder if it's in discussion to do no overtime and match the NCAA or golden goal.
Yeah, and I think golden goal would be fantastic.
Yeah, it gets the result.
It gets the
Call
result.
it done.
Yeah, and I think it all. And again, eventually, what all they want is numerical data to input the formula for whatever the ranking, or how that ranking works. Do you remember when it all started? It was Cal Preps in Arizona.
Oh,
whoa! It's going to go out of bounds for a Pinnacle corner kick here. Go ahead.
And I don't.
You don't remember Cal Preps. That was our first ranking system, I believe, that came out in 2006 or 2007. And that was one heck of a formula.
I remember it was a lot of secrecy of how it works and how we were always asking those questions.
That was the AIA formula. Okay, here we go. We're just at about 1 minute, 30 seconds. Here is a Pinnacle corner kick. You know, in those moments, Coach, of, you know, those kind of indirect punch it back in the box moments always gave me anxiety as a coach, because it was in those moments that were unpredictable. It was those moments that you just kind of hold your breath and go, don't hit a hand, don't get a deflection going one way, and then my goalie's just standing there going, I'm helpless here. We're just under a minute, and Pinnacle seems to have
what a save.
Just missed it. Mr. Max Perez, you have earned yourself a hot chocolate tonight. "25 seconds left. Whoa, and that was close to a little bit of a trip on the outside and maybe inside of that box. And here's a breakout for Mesa with 10 seconds. What can they do with it? They've got an opportunity here. Thwarted again. That's going to do it. We are all tied up here at the end of regulation at Mesa High School. Mesa High School Jackrabbit 0, Pinnacle Pioneers 0. We're going to step aside for a brief 5 minutes here while the programs get themselves together, have a quick word, and we get into 2 10-minute overtimes. Stick around. We'll be back.
That's pretty funny.
Sharks were sold to the sports group right away, and peace out.
Yeah,
Coliseum, here we come.
That's it.
Madhouse McDowell. It's a question.
Go ahead.
Thoughts on ECNL versus GA happening. I don't know much about it because I don't play. I rip on it.
Yeah, I rip on it. So from the little that I do know, I think it was ECNL and GA are like cousins. They're the same level, but some clubs decided we're not going to do ECNL. We're going to do this, but they're basically the same level.
GA is Girls Academy. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I think ECNL was known to be the top girls, and then GA. And correct us wrong if we're wrong. What is GA? That's Girls Academy. I'm assuming.
Then there's what was the other one? It was a DA.
Oh, DA, which is no longer.
Okay, and then so there's ECNL, and then what's the other one? There's two different that are the same. I know there are because I had kids on this high school team. So I play ECNL and I play this, and they were the same thing, but they don't play against each other because again, the mafia heads, the club heads couldn't agree on like a cost breakdown. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, Girls Academy is what sorts replaced DA. So, but it's more of the girls' side. So for me, I think every state's different. I think Arizona is just jacked up. It's like there's so much divide here.
Oh,
and
isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how you through the years, and I've been here since 2003, and what I've realized it's like the same figures just kind of like repurpose themselves and start a new club. Yeah. And it's gone from this club to this club to this club, but it's the same
people.
It's the same like Godfather.
Yeah, because they get
running it.
They get found out, and then they have to change their identity into another club, or they go into a new league or whatever. It never ends. It's just kind of like the so U.S. Club came in and took like half the state away from ASA.
Okay.
Jonathan Berzins?
Berzin, yeah.
So Jonathan,
he was at Highland High School in Chandler Gilbert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was my athletic director here for a moment. Then he went to Fort Lewis.
Okay.
And now he lives in Prescott.
Okay.
Or Flag, one of the two. I think Flagstaff. He became the CEO of club soccer for U.S. Club.
Okay.
And they just took everybody, like all the elite clubs. Everyone was trying to get into it because they're just taking everybody. And ASA was dwindling to nothing. And then what does ASA do? They hired Jonathan Berzins.
Oh, jeez.
For a 6-figure contract and brought him over to ASA. So now everyone's coming back because it was all over scheduling, really. And Jonathan's a good administrator, and he's getting that done. But it's comical. Like, it's good stuff for my podcast. Not for the kids or the families, but good for me. But, yeah, it's nuts. So they bought him. And so he's doing that. And now everyone's separated. But now, because of the divide, they can recruit players and borrow them and all this stuff.
What's the common denominator, you think?
Money. It's always money.
That's right.
Which is fine. Which is fine. I get there. So just everyone gets confused about me. Like, oh, you're against. I'm not against.
And I want to get paid. And I want if I can jump on there too.
Yes.
Here's what I want to say. I think there are some really, really unbelievably good coaches out there, Coach. And I think there are some gentlemen that are they've got virtue, they've got character. They're in it because they truly like the kids, and those are the ones that make the biggest impact. Those are the ones I'll pay money for that guy. In fact, my son played Excel soccer, and he was with this guy, and I think he was fantastic. His name's John Tucker, works with RSL, and I thought he cared so much more about the boys. He had extra practices. Hey guys, we'll do this. He did so much more for himself. But, and here's what I will say: for all of.
And we're back. And just to give you some news, we got Arizona connection. For the women's soccer side, Casey Bingham, who's from Arizona, coach at Paradise Valley Community College. She knows Arizona well, so it's good to have another Arizonan coaching at the Division I level at UNLV. So congrats, Casey. And she has a lot of ties to Arizona, so it's going to help our Arizona community have opportunities there. So that's exciting news.
Yeah, on the girls' side.
Yes.
Yep. Well, that's fantastic. Well, we are set for 2 10-minute overtime periods. We are at Mesa High School. We are live streaming, presented by the Soft Red Podcast YouTube channel. My name is Dan Salas, along with head coach, Phoenix College national champion David Cameron. We are all locked up at zeros. It is Mesa 0, Pinnacle Pioneers 0. And again, right before regulation, Pinnacle had a golden opportunity to win it. However, Max Perez had other ideas. Junior goalkeeper Max Perez. And, you know, when I had a chance to talk to Coach Hagan and Beto before the game, the Mesa coaching staff, you know, they said they had 2 really good goalkeepers. They both battled it out preseason, you know, throughout the, you know, Coyote tournament. And, you know, they decided to go with Max for the number 1. And I'll tell you what a good decision so far, Coach.
Yeah, it was a great decision. But that's what you're going to get with high school coaches that have been here for a long time and obviously have received a lot of respect, not only from us, but from the entire Arizona community.
You know, I don't know if they have an Arizona High School Soccer Hall of Fame. I'm not aware. I think it's just kind of like an AIA. There's an opportunity on goal, just a little bit too heavy. But, again, if there was an Arizona High School Soccer Hall of Fame, here's just a little bit out of bounds. Coach TJ Hagan is a first ballot. 30 years. This is his 30th year at Mesa High. And again, if nobody knows Coach Hagan's background, Google him. He is a science teacher extraordinaire and an absolute Mesa High School historian. I believe he has every statistic logged with Mesa High School soccer. I believe he has every Mesa High School statistic in the school in general logged. He graduated Mesa High. I believe lives down the street. No, I don't know. Go ahead.
He's
that kid's got some pace. He's a problem.
And what TJ does that's different than most, he actually goes and watches alumni play. I always see him at Phoenix College, especially when we're playing Mesa, so he sees all his players.
Yes.
And then he'll take a picture with, you know, both players on each team, and he's constantly having that connection. I think that's so important for a program to keep your alumni connected.
You know, and that's another defending point of high school soccer is that you've had so many of these figures, and they're just great figures for young men. And again, I have 2 boys. If my boys could play for Coach TJ Hagan, I would make it happen. But again, I'm not necessarily convinced that club coaches provide that same type of mentorship. There are some out there. I guarantee it. There are some out there. But for the most part, the way clubs operate, you know, from what I've experienced is, you know, 2 or 3 years with one coach, and then they rotate. Well, you're going to get a new coach now. And again, they may say just because it doesn't get, you know, maybe the message doesn't get stale. And I understand that to a certain extent. But again, the relationships that are forged through the high school experience are lifelong lasting, no doubt. I've had the opportunity to, again, experience that on myself. And someone, you know, one of my absolute best friends is one of my first captain in 2005, Dan Ballo. So
Those that coach, it's not big money in high school. It's not like, oh, you need to do it to pay the bills. You do it because you love the sport, you love what you do, and that's the type of coaches you're getting in high school. It's just they do it because there's something else there, which in TJ Hagan's case, it's because he really cares about young men developing into adulthood through the carrot of soccer. He does a wonderful job. Whether he's moving them on to keep playing soccer, but I don't think that's what he's about. He'll help them with that process, but it's more important of creating that coalition of great humans, put them together and get them to be able to showcase what young men are supposed to be about.
Right.
It's a great. It's very similar to any kind of team, like military or anything like that. When you bring people together and you have a common goal, you can really build things.
I didn't get a chance, and I apologize for the last athlete that went down with from Pinnacle with a cramp. I know they'd taken him off the field. Let's get that kid a banana and orange. We are still tied up just under 6 minutes in the first overtime period at Mesa High.
And for the ones that are going to follow these channels and they want to know when we are live streaming, go to YouTube, just search the Soft Red Podcast and like it and subscribe. And when you do that, or hit the notification bell too. If you do that, it'll let you know when we're live. And any kind of support helps us develop the show. And feel free to comment or send a message to either one of us and give us your opinion. Like, I wish you would do this. Wish you guys had, these kind of, and I get the comments we will get. It's like, you need another camera. Yes, I agree. We have those. We actually have 3 cameras in studio, but it requires a lot of bandwidth and knowing what time the game starts. We literally showed up like 10 minutes before because, I did.
You live far.
Well, I thought the game was at 7.
Yeah. AIA 365 had it at 7, and that was just an oversight. And again, a learning experience. I will triple check from now on with coaching staff, both sides, and again, I'm glad I did. Typically, most games are at 6 p.m., but for whatever reason, the AIA site had 7 p.m.
When's our next game?
Our next game is going to be Desert Vista at Perry High School. And from what I understand, that is going to be a 7 p.m. start. And again, I will double check that.
That is wrong.
That is
Comment
wrong.
if you know that is wrong.
That's right.
And let us know so we can.
And again, I'm of the belief that both Perry and Desert Vista do offer a freshman side or a JVB schedule,
okay.
And so they'll do a 3-5-7 format.
Does Mesa not? They don't have a JV2.
Gotcha. Pinnacle doesn't at the moment. Okay. And no, Coach Cameron, you make a great point too. Anybody that is listening to the stream, and maybe it's not tonight, or maybe it's, if it comes to you and you feel, hey, we deserve attention. We've got a really good team coming up. As the season grows, I would be a fan to say, hey, maybe we can get out to your school. And again, I wanted to add, we plan on following up our live streams with an in-studio podcast with multiple players, multiple coaches, invited players, invited coaches, and again, people that are making a general positive impact to Arizona high school soccer. So it may not be a player, it may not be a coach, maybe it is an athletic director, maybe it is a club director. Just so again, we continue to have this platform provide attention to what we're trying to accomplish. Got another Pinnacle player here. Just a little bit of a cramp on the home sideline. We're at 2:25 left in the first overtime period. 0-0. Mesa Jackrabbits, Pinnacle Pioneers. And again, and coming from Monday, we had an opportunity to do our first stream live from Hamilton High School, and it was a 12:30 kickoff, which was unique. But Hamilton had the great idea. Coach Tim Vance talked about there was another, maybe a girls' basketball or a girls' volleyball game in which they played during the day and allowed the student body to attend the game during lunch periods. The same thing was done Monday. So it was Brophy that came in, a 3-1 victory. But in terms of the style, it was definitely it was different from both of what we're watching tonight in terms of the spacing and the both teams, willing to depend on their goalkeepers, play out of the back, using their goalkeepers, and it was almost a tighter game, if you will. Not so much spread out and stretched as what we're watching here tonight between the Jackrabbits and Pioneers. And I know you have Anthony Hidalgo is an assistant coach on both Phoenix College and Brophy College Prep. I know Mark Kelly is obviously pleased to have Coach Anthony Hidalgo on his staff to bring that championship pedigree. We're just under 30 seconds here in the first period with a corner kick coming to the Jackrabbits. Heavy to the back post. Side netting.
And Brophy and Boulder Creek just finished their game, and I'm waiting for the score.
Oh, great idea. We can provide
Anthony,
some live updates.
Yeah, I think it should happen.
Yep. And that is the end of the first period. We're going to have a 3-minute turnaround for both sides.
And we're going to test something out. We're going to show you a goal scored by Phoenix College against Grand Canyon University, and these are clips we want. I obviously already have these, but here's a quick goal that we'd like to showcase anyone that would like to be part of this from Arizona Soccer. And this game was played at CCV, and we're the white team, and that's Mike Watkins from Verado High School making a pass to Yair Gonzalez.
There's so many lines on that field. I didn't know which direction you were actually playing, Coach.
Yeah, well, here's goal number. So,
wow.
So we had a minute and 55 seconds. And should we just take a small commercial break?
Yeah, let's do it. We've got you are listening to the Soft Red podcast coverage of Mesa High School versus Pinnacle. This is in between the first and second 10-minute overtime periods. We'll be back. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are live again here at Mesa High School. This is the start of the second overtime period between the Mesa Jackrabbits and the Pinnacle Pioneers. So far, it has been a little. I mean, it's for the most part, in my opinion, the game started with sophomore forward from Pinnacle, Jonathan Kuramuna. And again, I'm sorry if I pronounced that name entirely incorrectly, Jonathan. But Jonathan had an absolute breakout first 10 to 15 minutes with probably 2 to 3 really, really good goal-scoring opportunities that just couldn't find the finish of that. And then we had a senior, Evan Romero, kind of come down with a little bit of an injury, a knock to his ankle. Maybe it was a soft tissue, a hamstring, or a calf. But, again, sat out for a little bit, came back about halfway through the first half, and he's made a positive impact. Every time there's been a set play like we're watching right now, he's above the ball, just ready to, again, finish this game off for the Jackrabbits.
And we have a score update: Brophy 2, Boulder Creek 0.
Brophy 2, Boulder Creek 0. You know, I've had an opportunity to play Boulder Creek a number of times, and they're always a tough out. And I think one of the reasons, if anybody is not familiar, Boulder Creek's home field is unique. Boulder Creek's home field is very, very, very small. Boulder Creek's home field is barely the width of the football field, but they keep the goals at the goal line of the football field. They don't go through the end zone. So the end line of Boulder Creek is actually the start of the end zone. So you're exactly a 100-yard soccer field. And it feels like a phone booth you're playing in. So any type of speed that you have is nullified, because you can just keep your back line at the 25-yard line of a football field, and you don't have to go forward if you don't want to. So again, it's a unique experience playing at Boulder, and I think they do a tremendous job of taking advantage, knowing that size of the field, knowing how to play on that. Oh, unlucky again by the Pioneers. Another quality save by junior goalkeeper Max Perez. And, Coach, I got a question. At this point in the game, and I think I know what your answer is, when do you stay at the tie, and when do you go for the victory? In terms of compromise.
I'm in the mindset always go for victory. Just I'm not a fan of defending. I'm a fan of just scoring.
Yes, that wins the game.
It's more fun.
And like Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. It's more fun. Thank you. It's more fun.
And
simple answer. It's more fun. And again, I think
it's a great defense is attacking. If the opposition's scared of your attack, they're going to be scared to go forward. So overwhelm them with attacking, and it'll maybe avoid this overtime. But we now have a scrolling ticker of
results.
So I only got one result. If you have other results, comment, let us know, and we'll do a better job of finding these out as
they come in.
As they come in, and we know enough that we could just do a group text and just start getting these in, because it's hard to. As the season gets longer, everyone's going to want to know the scores right away.
There is, I believe it's called, and I'm going to look this up right now. I believe it's called. I believe it's called West Side. West Side Sports, what a shot on goal. Just missed it. I believe it's called West Side Sports Arizona, and it is called West Side Sports Golazo by Arizona for Arizona. And I follow them along with, it looks like a number. They've got over 1,000 followers here. And again, if anybody is familiar with the West Side Sports Golazo, I know they are not necessarily providing a stream to the games, but they seem to have one or two, photographers and videographers. Here's an opportunity on goal for Pinnacle. Out at the games, again, providing just coverage of results. And so if you go to their Instagram, they do a really good job, like I said, of being present. Again, if West Side Sports wants to get in contact with Coach Cameron or myself and the Soft Red Podcast, please reach out.
Now, the next location is at
Perry.
Perry.
Yes, sir.
How's their internet?
I will contact them immediately. Here's an opportunity here. This is a dangerous spot. That's a nice little step over right there. That's a nice little, wow, that was developed really well from the right wing.
Yeah, Pinnacle had 4 defenders and their keeper, and Mesa only had 1 attacker. So it's 1 versus 4. The service was great because there was an opportunity there. The guy in between all the defenders, too, the Mesa player, but the goalkeeper stepped up and did his job.
Yeah. And speaking of service and serving balls in, Coach, you had a former COFA high school standout and I believe just recently voted a junior college All-American, 6'6".
6'7".
Oh, I knew you wanted to say it. That's why I said 6'7".
He's legitimately 6'7".
He's legitimately, and again, I kept that off some of the broadcasts. But Tiernan, Nicewander, and his dad, head coach at COFA High School, Jamie. But Tiernan was an absolute nightmare on crosses, and I hope only the best for that guy in his next stop if he continues to play.
Oh,
what a great kid.
He'll continue to play, and he developed
a ton
during the season. And that's the thing with trying to identify players. He kept growing.
Whoa.
He kept growing into college. He's kept growing, so he wasn't fully into his body. And as he was trying to navigate the growth and get everything figured out, he was getting better and better.
Scoring goals off in the air, off the ground?
He was scoring goals in high school. Obviously, he's the top goal scorer in AIA, in 6A his senior year. But he kept growing, and when you grow, you're a little thin. You have to get, fill out in your body. But that's why we got to be careful how we just, try to identify players. That's what they are. That we can't really do that. Looks like we got a...
Yeah. We're just under a minute here, and unfortunately, we've got an injury on the far sideline, and I can't tell exactly who that is, but it looked like it was a non-contact injury, and those are the worst ones. And again, we are just under a minute, 46.9 seconds here left in the second overtime. And again, this will end as a tie.
All right, the clock has to change to 55.
The clock has to change to 55 seconds. We're just getting an official. We have center referee Jason Ulrich indicating the official time needs to go to 55 seconds. And as we wait on the injured athlete, we're getting some, just our first indication. It might be Juan Tito Perez, with, injured on the far sideline. Hopefully he gets up here. Coach Hagan's walking him off. Gingerly at best.
Hopefully it's not too bad. Usually if it was really bad, there would be a golf cart.
Yeah. He wouldn't be able to putting a ton of pressure on it. Once again, we're sitting at 55 seconds here in the second overtime. Pinnacle in white. Your home team is Mesa High, the Jackrabbits. We are still at 0-0. This is the second overtime. And the ball just over the crossbar at 42 seconds left. It looks like goalkeeper Max Perez will clean it up out of the goal kick. And here's Evan Ramiro knocking it forward. 25 seconds left in regulation.
That'll be game.
That will be the game. So that'll do it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What a night of soccer here at Jackrabbit Stadium. Thank you so much for tuning into the Soft Red Podcast presentation of Arizona High School Soccer. Mesa High School 0, Pinnacle Pioneers 0. A big thank you again to head coach David Cameron for joining us tonight and sharing his insight. Having him in the booth is an absolute joy. To the players, the coaches, and especially you, the fans, thank you for being a part of tonight's stream. This broadcast, again, is the Soft Red Podcast. I hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Make sure you subscribe to the Soft Red Podcast YouTube channel and on Instagram at the Soft Red Podcast. We will be next week at Perry High School, December 16th, Desert Vista at Perry High School. Once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. See you next week at Perry High School. Good night, everyone.
Good night.